Yo, where's up YouTube? Today we're breaking down the exact business model that Cardinal Mason uses to make over $300,000 a month online, and it is not AI copywriting. So I'm going to break down the exact business model and the exact system that he uses to make way over 300K a month through this business model in a really, really good depth. So let me just get straight into this video. So if you haven't figured it out already, he basically sells a high ticket coaching program, right? Slash info product, whatever you really want to call it, right? So he basically teaches other people exactly how to start AI copywriting and actually how to start making money online through it. And the reason why he sells the coaching program and the reason why it's such a good business model to start is because there's super high profit margins because there's not really too many overheads in the business model. It's somewhat easy because he's teaching something that he's already mastered. He has full lifestyle freedom doing this business model. And usually the people that he coaches, they're pretty smart. If they're investing high ticket prices, so way over like 2K for a coaching program, they probably are already pretty smart and they're pretty coachable people, right? So he basically sells how to get info. And I'm going to break down the exact way in which he does this. And you can really just break it down. It's very, very simple three-step formula. So how he gets eyeballs, how he then generates these eyeballs into leads, and how he converts these leads into actual high ticket clients for his one-on-one coaching. So let's get straight into it. Now, before I get into this video, right, it's only for you if you have an info product and you're looking for some ways to scale it, or you growth operate. So you help people who have info products already scale their info product up, right? If this is not you, you can still watch this video. I'm sure we're trying to get really specific on who this video is actually for. So enough talking. Let me just get straight into it. All right. So let's first off start with how he actually gets eyeballs. So Cardinal Mason has a ton of different social medias, and I'll firstly break down his YouTube. So his YouTube basically acts as bottom of funnel, right? So as people come from his Instagram and his TikTok, they can then go to his YouTube, but they get nurtured even more, right? Because people are just going to be way more likely to actually find him through these other social media platforms simply because they're obviously shorter form content, right? However, on his YouTube, as you can see, he has a pretty simple YouTube page, just teach people how to become a freelance copywriter, which is a business model that he teaches completely. And here are his videos, right? So it's pretty simple content strategy. His top of funnel videos for his YouTube, so the YouTube videos of his that really capture people's attention, is usually lifestyle stuff slash AI copywriting stuff. So you can see right here, he has a vlog of him in like Tulum or something in Mexico, like just a bunch of sort of vlogs, and then also these AI copywriting videos. So as you can see, this one right here, 142,000 views, which is a ton. Obviously, these videos are less likely to blow up. However, AI copywriting is such a big thing at the minute, especially the AI bit, which makes the business model so much more easier. So these videos, which are sort of more bottom of funnel style, still have such a potential to blow up, right? So his middle of funnel is just mainly value based videos, right? So these are stuff on AI copywriting. So this is a good example right here. I'm pretty sure this is one as well. And then his bottom of funnel is student interviews, right? So once people, they've watched a bunch of his lifestyle content, they've seen, okay, this guy has such a good lifestyle, I want to be like him. And they go to his other videos and they learn what he does and exactly how they can start it themselves. They can then watch his student interviews where they can learn that, oh yeah, this guy actually coaches what he does. And there are other real life people who are also getting results in his coaching program, right? So that's the whole reason why student interviews are bottom of funnel, as they usually get the least amount of views. But they only really attract people who are actually going to be interested in buying his coaching program. So that's the first thing, right? That's pretty much it for his YouTube. It's honestly very, very simple. YouTube is such a good social media platform, and every single online coach should be on YouTube, even arguably over Instagram, because people spend way more time with you on YouTube compared to other social medias, right? And because of this, they're going to know you, like you, and trust you way faster. Okay. And that's obviously very, very important marketing strategies. That's basically it for his YouTube channel. Next, he has an Instagram page, right? So his bio is pretty simple, just where he's from, exactly what he does, which is AI copywriting, and then a simple call to action. So DM me freelance to start. These are only really going to be only people that are going to be DMing this are people who have very, very high intent to buy. They probably watch a ton of his content and whatnot. They just really want to get into his program, and then once you DM him, he's just going to DM set you. So I already done it. And he's probably just going to ask you pretty simple questions, sort of similar stuff that he may ask you on a type form, which I'm going to break down in a few minutes. But yeah, he'll just DM set you and he'll probably book you onto a sales call with him. But obviously, yeah, it's pretty simple CTA. And then he also has a free training, which I'm going to break down in a second, right? Now, he also has these two highlights. Something which you could include is a testimonials highlight potentially. So this is just where people can, like really see his social proof and really see that he practices what he preaches and actually gets people results. But basically, all this is just straight up value, right? So he basically breaks down exactly how you can actually start landing your first few copywriting clients, and then he breaks down his exact one-on-one coaching offer that he has, right? So it's honestly pretty simple, and he basically posts all of the stuff that he does on his Instagram. It comes from his TikTok, right? So his content strategy on there is pretty simple. I'm going to break it down in a second, starting from his TikTok. But overall, he has a ton of followers, right? 139,000. Let's actually get into his content strategy. So Cardinal Mason's content strategy is sort of one like I've seen with other creators, and it definitely works really well at the minute. So first off, it's extremely authentic, right? Now, a couple years ago, everyone was trying to make these very very edited videos, really capture your attention and whatnot. In the recent 1 to 2 years, people have really just shifted into literally just speaking to the camera, right? Super raw, super authentic, and this is literally all of his videos, right? Like you really don't see a lot of editing on any of these videos. They're all just super raw. Like he's not really doing like too much right with these videos, but it works really really well because people don't really care about the flashiness. They don't care about any of that anymore. They actually just want true authenticity. And then on his TikTok, he makes videos on copywriting, money, life, motivation, right? A ton of different things. But it really is just authentic, right? He's really speaking like himself. And I think the main goal of his whole TikTok it's just to really show off his personality, right? Like a lot of people in their personal brands, they just post videos which are just straight free value or straight, just like how to do this, how to do that. But he posts videos like this one, for example, like how to tell if a guy's a bum, which is sort of something you maybe like talk about with like a friend or something, right? So that just gets people to obviously like him as a person more, which then is going to make them potentially more likely to actually buy into his one-on-one coaching. He also makes videos directly on making money, copywriting, which are these pinned ones right here. But really, the main goal of the TikTok and the Instagram, and he posts literally the exact same videos onto both. It's just to get people to actually know him, right? Like he needs to get a ton of eyeballs coming in, and obviously, like right here on TikTok, I mean, his reach is crazy, right? He has 458,000 followers, and pulling in videos with millions of views, which means he's also going to print from his info product, right? If you're putting in that many eyeballs and you actually have a good coaching program that actually gets people results, it's inevitable that you're going to print money, right? So all of his traffic, he just pushes it into a free training, which I'm going to break down on the next step. But that's basically it for his Instagram and his TikTok. He also has a Twitter, which it just shows even more of his personality. Personality, to be honest, like it's really nothing too crazy. It just shows off who he is. He's just very, very raw and authentic on his Twitter, and he doesn't really have any links on his Twitter. Um, But I guess it's just another touch point, right? It's another place for people to, really see his tweets, really see who he is as a person, right? So overall, Cardinal Mason's content really gets people to like him a bunch, right? And this is because he shows off his personality in a way that not a lot of info sellers do. Like I was just saying, I've also seen this amongst other creators, such as like Brez, TJR, where they really show off who they are. Like they're really just like authentic and just post whatever. But it actually does work, and it almost makes them come across as like an influencer sort of thing. But it's definitely a great way to scale your info product because it's going to pull in way more eyeballs compared to if he was just going to talk about copywriting only, right? So it's definitely working really, really well for him. Really, really well for him. He's probably selling like the biggest copywriting coaching out at the minute. But that's basically it for his content strategy, right? It's honestly super simple. Just posting these super raw, authentic videos onto his TikTok, Instagram, and then his YouTube is really just where the nurturing is going on, where people are actually getting a bunch of value and actually seeing that he knows what he's talking about, right? Now, like I've mentioned before, the whole goal of his content strategy is to get people to know him, like him, and trust him, right? And partner up with that is also getting people to watch 7 hours or more of his content, which is going to make them way more likely to buy into his coaching service. And really focusing on these three social media platforms is the most effective way to execute on this, right? And that's exactly what he is doing. So the next step of his funnel is how he actually generates leads. So obviously he has all this content, he has all this content getting pushed out, so many people seeing it, and now we actually get these people that are watching his videos into leads, which are basically going to be people who are actually interested in whatever it is he has to sell, right? So all of the links that you see on his Instagram, so this one right here, um, the one on all of his YouTube videos, and on his TikTok as well, it always going to push you to this page right here. And what it is a free training landing page. So the title is honestly very simple. It's just how my students are making 10 to 20K a month online with AI copywriting and how you can do the same with no experience or no marketing skills. This is very, very important, right? Because with the amount of people that are going to be going down this sales funnel, you really have to like is like it makes the most sense for him to be coaching a business model that you don't need to have a lot of experience for, because there's going to be a ton of unexperienced people who are just trying to get into online money coming down the sales funnel, right? So if you compare this to something like, for example, I don't know, like growth operating, which is slightly harder and you need maybe like a few more skills to do it, that wouldn't work as well. But obviously, because it's copywriting, AI copywriting, you don't really have to have as much experience. So this just makes a whole lot of sense. But it's really important that it does include this because so many people are going to be coming through this funnel who don't have any experience whatsoever, right? So he has a pretty simple VSL here, which is 17 minutes long, which is relatively long, right? But he's going to have a ton of traffic coming through. So he really wants to make sure that the people who are actually booking calls with him are really people who actually have high intent, right? Like if he was having sales calls with people, if he, let's say, I don't know, he has like a 5 minute VSL, and like a bunch of people will be hopping on sales calls with, and they just ask like a bunch of questions, or maybe they're just unsure, having a bunch of objections, etc. But him just having a long VSL and really just going over absolutely everything is obviously going to make less people actually book a call with him. But the people who do book a call are going to be way more likely to actually purchase whatever it is he has to sell, right? So that's the reason why he has a somewhat long VSL. And if you have a massive following, you should probably use like something similar to that. Now, a big thing when it comes to this funnel, right, and this VSL in general, is that it follows this very, very simple marketing sort of formula, you could say, which is the new, easy, safe, and big, right? So his VSL almost like follows this exact, it's like a copywriting framework as well. So it obviously starts off with, him doing AI copywriting. So he explains exactly how he lives his crazy lifestyle, which is, through doing AI copywriting, which is funding that, which is new, right? Because yes, copywriting has been around for the longest time, right? It's probably like the oldest business model. It's just marketing. AI is sort of like a new, fresh thing, right? So it's like it makes like gives like a new twist. So it's almost like a new business model because you have copywriting, which is something which you potentially need years of experience to start. Um, and overall is very, very hard. Which now AI is coming to play, you can literally start this business model and start making money like next week or something, right? Just because you know how to leverage AI properly. So it all just has a fresh angle, and he really emphasizes on this in the VSL. And then the easy part, which is you can now leverage AI. So obviously that's going to be really, really helpful. For this business model, so then you can use AI for it. And then he highlights on the fact that the business model is also safe because it's not really any startup costs, right? You don't need any money to start copywriting. Um, like it's just a complete free business model. It's not something like drop shipping or trading or whatever. And then it's big, right? Because every single business requires copywriting. Literally every single business, like it's just marketing, right? It's just writing words. So he really follows this framework in his VSL, and it's definitely a reason why it works so well. So if you actually want to watch this whole VSL, you have to enter your contact details, right? So he's going to ask your name, your email, and your phone number. And what he's actually going to do with that is then potentially contact you in some way to then book you on a sales call, right? Obviously, it's going to be his team doing that. So on this landing page, what it really is just this video. You'll collect your details. As you can see, he has a bunch of testimonials as well, like just a flood of them. One thing which you could do is make these video testimonials just something slight which you could change out, nothing too crazy. But having a video testimonial is just slightly better. And then just has another CTA. So it's really nothing that crazy, right? So once you fill out your details and whatnot, you you can go straight ahead and fill out a type form. So here are just some of the questions. It's really nothing that crazy. So like, do you have 10 plus hours a week towards making extra money with AI copywriting? Yeah, just like what's your long-term goal and what's your biggest struggle? The main reason for these questions is to again filter people out. He's gonna have so many people going down his funnel just because of the reach that his content has. So it's very, very important that he does this to really make sure that the most qualified and the most high intent buyers are the ones who are booking sales calls with his team, right? It's that simple. So next, let's get into how he actually converts these leads into high ticket clients paying probably well above $1,000 plus for his coaching program. So once you filled out the form, which I didn't do completely just because obviously that's not really any point, you'll probably either get contacted via your phone or you'll get an email. I'm assuming that's probably going to be a phone, so like a phone call or SMS, or you can just go ahead and book a call straight away. I'm not really exactly sure which one it was, but seeing that as a type form and they ask your contact and whatnot, I'm assuming that if you're qualified, they're probably going to phone you, right? And on this call, they're probably gonna, try qualify you and then book you in for a sales call with a closer. So obviously not Cardinal Mason himself, but yeah, he'll book you in, one of the guys from his sales team, and then you obviously hop into a call with one of Cardinal Mason's closers, and then get sold in his coaching program, right? And that's pretty much it. That's exactly how he converts leads. It's really nothing too crazy. And yeah, so what I'm unsure on in this whole sales funnel is first off the email list. I'm like 90% sure he has an email list. I'm not like 100%. I mean, he obviously has an email list because he collects your email address. But I mean, I don't know if he sends emails to this list just because I haven't received one yet. And I signed up for it like a day ago. Um, so yeah, maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. I don't really know. But if he's collecting email addresses, which he obviously does, he should 100% be sending regular emails to this list, especially like an initial email that you get straight away as soon as you join the list, just because it's pretty much common sense, right? Like that's just something which you should be doing. Otherwise, people just forget that they even signed up to this in the first place. So yeah, I'm not 100% sure if he actually has an active email list that he's actually sending out emails to, but he definitely should. Also, pre-call flow. Again, I'm like 90% sure he probably has one of these. So once you do book a sales call, you're probably going to get email and SMS follow-ups. This is just the best way to, maximize the chance for you actually showing up for the sales call. And then finally, upsells, right? So I'm personally assuming that just because Cardinal Mason's um, has so much reach, and he's probably the biggest guy in the whole AI copywriting coaching space at the minute. He probably has like a not crazy high ticket coaching program, right? So yeah, like for example, right, we can take Brez. If you look at Brez, he just had this whole webinar, and yeah, I think it was a webinar like the free train the own decision thing. And on that, he basically dropped a new sort of mid-ticket program, right? So he has a new program, right, for freelance brand scaling, which I think is around like $1,000, right, which is more of a mid-ticket. And then I'm like, it's just a guess because obviously I don't know the exact price of Cardinal Mason's mentorship, but I'm assuming Cardinal Mason may have something that's the same, right? So he has a coaching program for anywhere between maybe like $1,000 to $2,000, and then maybe has a higher ticket upsell inside of that, which is could be anywhere between like 3 to 10K, right? So this is a rough guess that I'm not really sure, but he may have an upsell potentially. Maybe he just goes straight into a one-on-one high ticket, so anywhere between like 2 to 10K for like his one-on-one coaching. But yeah, just because when you see Bryce, for example, he has such a big audience, you know, the best way for him to capitalize on this is instead of just doing straight up high ticket, doing something like a mid ticket and then having a high ticket upsell, right? Which is definitely something which Cardinal Mason may have already done. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah. So to end things off, right, if you sell info and you're looking for a free scaling roadmap, you can book a call me down below. I'm not going to be using any weird sales tactics. I'll just go over a whole roadmap that will be customly made, done for you, which will basically break down exactly how you can scale your coaching business. And then I'll also hit you with an offer at the end if I actually think that can help you out, right? So go ahead and book that free call down below. If there's anyone who wants to see me funnel hack next, then just let me know in the comments down below as well. And yeah, that's it for this one, guys. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.